Welcome to another edition of Love Football, Connect Football, the podcast. And we got a good guest in the building today. I'm just putting up my little pin. Shouts out Nathaniel in the building. I see you already. I see you. Just send me a little comment and I'm going to get you on live straight away. Just putting a pin up to... So shout out everyone that's joining us right now. Yeah, it's the Love Football, Connect Football podcast. Special guest in the building today. No other than Nataniel, the head coach of the under-14s Crystal Palace women's team. Hey, in the building right now. So yeah, he's in the building. Let's get him up. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, fam? What's going on? What's good? I'm
sporting. I'm here. We say what? No barbers in that.
You know what it is? Obviously, I caught COVID just before like the lockdown.
Yeah.
So the window that I needed in order to get the trim passed, and now the barbers are no longer here, innit? So I'm out here sporting like this is what we call a lockdown lineup. So
don't worry, but we all go through it, brother. We all go through it. I'm not even taking off my hat right now.
Do you know what it is? I actually got a hat, but my brother was looking at me saying to myself, bruv, it don't look right. So I was like, okay, let me just leave it. just sport this and leave it as is. But yeah, man. Thank you
right now, we got Nathaniel in the building. He's the head coach of Crystal Palace's under-14s women's team.
Indeed.
So let me just I'm going to get to it because I was intrigued when I saw you come up on my Instagram. I said, whoa, because I just started doing this like literally about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and you came up about 2 weeks into the shows. Okay. So I said, wow, imagine you've just come up and I'm doing this show, so I have to try and get you on. So that's when I messaged you and said, listen, I need to get you on this podcast, you know.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So what I'll say is just introduce yourself to the podcast, just to let people know what you do, and we'll go from there.
Do you know what? Yeah, so I've been given a fantastic opportunity to work for Crystal Palace, women's. And I've been there for like 3 years. I can't take all the plaudits though, because is the person who was coaching in football, and it's so funny because like, at the time, her mum and dad were women in orange, but she was just so good. And we were going to the park almost like 3 times a week in the night time. She loves football. And so then she got into a district team. And then they asked who coached her, and they came to me. So I started to coach the district team there with another gentleman. And that was the first season that Croydon, the young girls in that age group, had ever won the league. They won the league. They were absolutely outstanding. And then after one training session, I was passing by, and the person who's now the head of development there, I met him. She got a trial. She got in. Okay. A couple of weeks later, they asked me who trained her. I mean, her mum really pushed it. In fact, she said, you should go and ask the manager. So after a few weeks, she got in. She played her first match, and then that's the story is that I joined Palace. So, and then the journey with my niece has continued. So, yeah, she's with me at the under-14s age group with a number of young women who played at the school district team as well. And it was really, it was about giving them all the opportunity. I think, we'll touch on it later, but diversity in women's football has been tough, as it's as a relatively up and coming sport in the UK. So yeah,
we're definitely gonna get to that, because I've got so many questions for you. So we're definitely gonna get to that.
That's me. I love coaching, and people know I've coached from little league when I was 13, 14, played relatively low level stuff, and then got back into it now. So and I'm enjoying this second lease of football life in coaching.
So basically you got your niece to thank for, yeah?
She's not going to thank me, but hey ho, that's where it is, man. And I can see a number of the Palace players are actually looking at this now. So
Okay. So okay, you're watching. That's good. That's
Yeah, they're
good.
watching, they're
So
watching.
let's get into it. So basically,
Yeah.
like, what made you decide to become a coach? Like, how did you get into it?
Do you know what? Do you know what it is? When I was really young, yeah, it wasn't that I wasn't good at football. It's just that I wasn't fit. So I went through this stage where up until about 10, 11, I was always on the sideline watching. But like, I just had a knack for reading the game, analytical stuff. Like I could see where there were gaps. Like, you know, I'd point out where the danger people were, and I knew how to isolate them, just watching little things like that. And then yeah, and it's just like sitting down. You know what it is, as youngsters, we sit there, we watch football all the time. And like, even when it was FIFA 95, looking at tactics all the way up, just looking at tactics, formations, looking at shapes, looking how we've transitioned from, you know, looking at, you remember when Golazzo used to be on Channel 4, Italian football, just watching all of that sort of stuff, just taking all of that in. And you know what, it just naturally came to me that I love the analytics of it. I love reading the game because as a supporter, you've got the unique advantage of watching the whole field of play, you know, looking at how teams build up, how they shape, how they close down space, how they press. And really the Premiership years were really, really interesting. You know, as much as it pains me to say this, Arsene Wenger's initial brand of football in 1990, you know, in the 90s, early 90s, was game changing, because what he did was he introduced to us, you know, nutrition, high pressing, you know, quick transitions, so changing from defense to attack, and then what you looked, and also Sir Alex Ferguson. And when you look at those sorts of characters, you look at their teams. What they had teams like Liverpool and Man City now. Don't give you no space. Don't give you no time on the ball, and teams who can play like that will always win games. That's why I always turn around and say to people who are English, to England fans, if we played Premier League football in these World Cup tournaments, England would have won trophies a long time ago. But we never do. It never translates into that. So so that's really my coaching journey. It's really just been about me being able to analyze and read the game, and I still do it now. So even when I'm at my cousin's house, I'm sitting at home, I'm like, that person needs to come off, that person needs to go there, that person needs to come off, and people are just like, how do you know this? And then it happens, and then the game changes, and I'm like,
So do you think that that whole Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger era, do you feel that kind of changed English football?
It did, because if I'm being honest with you, you know, as Liverpool supporters,
come on.
Oh, come on. The 80s were very, you know, I was young in the 80s, so and Liverpool were just the dominant force. They were winning everything, a bit like Lewis Hamilton now. There's no real competitor to him. There was just, you know, so, you know, one or two results here, but really it was a dominant team. I think when Liverpool sort of like, you know, became less, you know, became you know, less of a focal point, and other teams started to come into it, and obviously more money came into the game. What you found is that you saw teams that were testing each other. So sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll never forget the first day I got Sky Sports, because I was watching Newcastle versus Liverpool, the first 4-3. And that game was mind-blowing, because that was just pure passion and energy, no tactics. I mean, no one could defend. Like, you know, you might as well just had no goalkeepers.
It's gung-ho, gung-ho.
Gung-ho football. And then you look at the foreign influence that's come in, and then you look at what they've done to look at the site. I mean, the game now, when you look at it now, these sports trackers that they've got in, they monitor your recovery rates, where you've gone, where you've moved to, your position, your heat maps and stuff like that. So we've gone from a place where, you know, players were smoking and drinking and having a laugh after a match to, you know, consummate professionals who are monitored by every piece of technology that NASA currently has. So that's football.
Okay. And obviously you've told me how you landed the job. That was my next question, how you landed the job at Crystal Palace. But
I mean, it's fortuitous, isn't it? You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just being at the right place at the right time. And then, so even from then, so then I was with Linda. I love Linda. Because she was playing for Palace as well at the time. And then she left the club. But she was still sort of doing stuff with me in the background. But really what she was doing was helping me transition into the role. But you know, I can speak for myself. I try to change the philosophy and ideas of what we were trying to teach our young players. It was really important for me to grow as a coach as well. So I started doing my coaching badges in order to make sure that I got myself up to the levels. But then, you know, people are starting to recognize, actually, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He's got them working on shapes, and, you know, so this year, for example, we're working on gingham pressing. So I'm teaching these young women stuff that Liverpool, Man City are doing. And the thing is, you know, is sometimes I'm harsh on them because, and they know this, because I know how good they are. Yeah. But when they get it, it's a problem. And some of the results that we've got this season have been a testament to that. So, yeah.
So you see, like, okay, so the women's game in general. So do you see that sort of style of play in the women's game then?
You see it from the Man Cities and the Chelseas and Arsenals of this world. Possibly Liverpool, Manchester United, definitely. But the reason for that is that there's still a gulf between part-time clubs and full-time clubs. So, for example, like Crystal Palace at this moment in time, they're still sort of like, I mean, they're doing extremely well, to be honest with you, because with the investment that they've had compared to some of those other teams, you know, and the cost to run a women's club at the because we're in the second tier, so we're in the women's championship, and then you've got the WSL, which is like the Premier League.
Premier League, yeah, okay.
And the money it costs to run these things is astronomical. But so what you're finding is that the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal have been real, and Man City, to be honest with you, they throw money at it. And they put an importance on the women's game because it's going to blow. And I know people, you know, I remember when I first watched my first Women's World Cup about 15 years ago. I'm not going to lie to you, it wasn't the spectacle. But now I sit down and watch women's football, and it's a different game entirely. And it's getting better and better and better. And if you ever come and see some of the young women that are playing, not just at Crystal Palace, but in the Arsenals and the Chelseas, in the Charltons, in the Tottenhams, in the West Hams, Millwall, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at what they're doing. These young women, they're really, 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 really good.
Yeah, it's good to see that as well. To see that the women are now taking the game to another level. It's good to see that, definitely.
Yeah, they have to. The fact, but there has to be investment in it. With most things, it's all about investment, you know. And the fact of the matter is that it's being recognised now, and people are starting to see that, you know, that this is going to be a massive thing.
So, in regards to, because, you know, obviously the men's the wages are stupid.
Yes.
Are women even close to that, or even half that at the moment, in regards to wages and stuff?
There are changes afoot that are happening across the world. So you got obviously, you know, you like Berbatov and the American squad were asking for equality on with wages, and that's massive because the women's team in the US are probably more successful than the men's team, and football in the US is considered a women's sport, and yet they were getting paid less than the men. And you know what it is, the men and women's football won't be on par for a while, okay, and that's simply because the foundations of men's football has been around for a lot longer. But that doesn't mean that women's football is not going to be there. When you've got people like Man City paying the money they are for players, I mean, they've got you remember the time when Andy Cole went for 8 million. From Newcastle to Manchester United, we thought that was money we'd never seen before in our life. Yeah, and then we saw Philip Coutinho took for 120 million. And we're crazy. Like, if you sign someone for 8 million now, you're thinking some lower league, youngster that's up and coming. You're not thinking of, you know, top quality, So I would turn around and say women's football is about probably 10 to 15 years behind in terms of that sort of men's infrastructure, but it is coming, and I feel that the young women, you know what I mean, we've got to be thankful for the women that have been the trailblazers of women's football for the last 25, 30 years, and obviously the last last 10 years, because that's when its prominence has really, you know, come about, and the women that are playing football now, they're the ones who are going to be benefiting from the struggles and the challenges that women have before have faced. So but no, it will get there. Will it get to the same heights? Who knows? But you will start to see more full-time women's football, and you'll start to see, and you're already starting to see the quality going up in terms of the way that they play. You know, there are going to be some physical differences. So you'll tend to find that in terms of just stature, sometimes women can be slightly smaller. That's just a natural thing to men. So you might not find taller goalkeepers. You know, there may be different ways in which they play. But you're looking at teams like Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, you know, who are at the top of the peak, and the way that they play football is something outstanding.
Okay. Just for anyone who's tuning in right now, it's the Love Football Connect Football podcast. We've got my guy Nataniel. He's the head coach of the under-14s women's Crystal Palace team. So don't play, you know, this guy knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. Yeah, we're putting the pressure on him right now. We want to see silverware soon, you know?
We're trying.
So, like, we kind of gone over it just there, really, because I was going to ask the next question was what your perspective is on the women's game in general, like how you think it's evolved over the last 5 to 10 years.
Yes. Yeah, well,
what you just said.
It's been massive, bro. It's massive. I'm going to be honest with you. I prefer coaching young women than the young men. And as much as it's more lucrative to be in boys football, I hope I go all the way up as far as I can in women's football, where I'd be a first team manager for Crystal Palace and in next 5 or 10 years, or if it means that I get to an international job. But it's been a humbling experience to see the challenges that women face on a daily basis. Physiological, hormonal, social challenges that they face, with the prejudices that there are in the world, and then still able to train and turn up and play football at elite level is actually quite baffling, and coming from a man point of view. So I've had to sort of I've got not even a newfound respect. I'm humbled and I'm privileged to be in a position that I am. And that's women's football there. And some people may not agree right now, but I've brought people down to matches. I brought my cousin down to do a photo shoot, and I'll never forget this because there were some girls just doing kick-ups in the corner, and there were some girls doing some tricks in there, and I was getting annoyed. I was like, "No, come on, we're trying to get the session going. What's going on? We're doing this photo shoot." And he's like, "This looking like that," and I'm like, and then so when we're driving back in the car, and he goes to me, he says, "Bruv, those girls, man, they're bad." And I was like, "What do you mean they're bad?" It's like, "Oh, because those girls." I was like, "Bruv, they were macking about. They shouldn't have been doing the kick-ups." But for him, he has never seen young girls doing it. So he's like, "No, bruv, you're not understanding what I'm trying to. I've never seen this." And there were girls doing kick-ups and round the world stuff. And I'm like, yeah. But no, when I sat back and I thought about it, I was like, actually, you know what? Yeah, this sort of thing is new to men.
People are not used to that. So when they see it, it's different. Yeah. So with obviously you got the younger women that are aspiring to be footballers. What would you say to them? What advice would you give them? Or any young ladies that way to be a footballer?
Do you know what I'll turn around and say? See, you know what it is? I love F1, so I'm always watching F1. But Lewis Hamilton said something on the weekend. He said, dream big and never let anybody stop you from achieving that goal. And I'll turn around and say to young women far and wide, just to continue to practice. You know what it is the youth in general of this generation. I know we always say it was hard in our generation, but they've got it really, really difficult. And the reason why I turn around and say to you is because they've got social media, and social media's this platform where they can see stills and moments of time where people are showing perfection. But we know Ian Wrights, the Andy Coles, any player, Messi, Ronaldo, Beckham, you look at their stories, those guys had to work to get to where they got to.
Yeah.
And some people seem to think that it's just there on a platter. Look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah failed at Chelsea. That's what people tend to forget. Then he had to go to Rome and reinvent himself. Then came back to Liverpool and became the player that he is. You know, and what I turn around and say to you is, there's, you know, with anything in life, there is no sacrifice. There's no victory without sacrifice, and you know, you've got to put it in. You know, we have at Palace, where you know, we've created an environment where we make sure that the young women understand that education is fundamental. It's important. Yeah. And that's the basis. And we work with the parents closely to ensure that if there are any challenges, because there will be, these are young adolescents, and I see myself sometimes in them, in the sort of stuff that they get up to. That's the way it is. But we work together in order to make sure that we create an environment where we're not just developing footballers, that we're developing young leaders, people who are confident, people who can come out of their shell. It's a safe zone for them. So we have a very deliberative sort of environment. So I'll give you an example. I will be on the sideline, and some of the players will come up to me and say to me, "Oh, that girl's not doing this, or this not going." Well, go on and tell them, and they'll talk to their teammates. Oh, no. Or they'll turn around and do something like where Nathaniel, can we play, instead of me playing on the right and this person playing on the left, can we swap over? Do it if it works for you. I give them the artistic freedom to express themselves, right? Because then it gives them those essential skills for them to take into reward. And they may not realize what I'm doing right now, but the parents see it. Right. And so now on match days, there may be a time where I might have to turn around and say something, but sometimes I let them get on with it and they play their football. I give them the essentials at training. That's my time. Their time is match day. And I turn around and say to them, if you want to go out and you want to win all these trophies and titles, you've got to listen in training, and then I'll give you the weekend to express yourself. And that's what they get. And that's for me. That's the sign of a good coach stroke manager, when you can let your players be on the pitch and let them decide if something's going wrong. Let them change it and see if it works, instead of you having to call it. You know, exactly. But sometimes, you know what it is, you know what it's like. You have to intervene, because sometimes, you know, they are children as well. So sometimes their eyes are just on the ball and not on what's going on around them. So So instead of me turning around and saying to a player, do this, do that, do that, I will turn around and just say, have you had a look around? And that's it. Can you see what's going on? Yeah. Where are the gaps and pressure? And then what you then they start to understand the game. And then I turn around and say to them, so when we make substitutions, it was a massive thing that one of my colleagues brought up with me. And he turned around and said, when they're coming off, really the person they're substituting with should be giving them information about the player that they were playing up against. Little things like that to build confidence. Because you know what it is? When this group leaves me this year, they'll go into another coach and I'll have a new group. And then they'll need to take on those philosophies, those ideas. It's all part of the process that we're trying to build them at. But we want to make sure that the club and women's football is strong, and we're playing our part in doing that at Palace. So you don't stay with the team and move up with them. You change coaches every year. Do you know what? Yeah, no, I've stayed with this group. I know most of these young women for the past 3 years. Most of them. Some of them have chopped and changed and moved into different squads, because what we try to do at Palace is you may have a young woman who's like an under 14, but might not necessarily be physically ready for it. So we have odd age groups which we put into slightly less competitive leagues, or we put them into leagues at their pace, and then we put them in there in order for them to build up. And then they may come back in, because you know what it is, everyone develops differently. I've got 2 or 3 under 14s that are almost as tall as me, or if not taller. But I'm 5'10", so and they're 14. You know, so it's about, and then I've got an under 13. So I've got 2 under 13s in my squad who are a year younger, but they're playing up a year. They're playing up a year, yeah. Wow. But one of them's tall and one of them is absolutely strong and dominant. So I don't need to worry about them. So football is, so sometimes we need to get away from this whole idea of playing young children in any sport in their age groups, and think about what is their actual development, physical development in terms of their years. If you've got someone who's tall and strong but can't kick a ball and stuff, then you know that the technical aspects are not ready. That person's not right for that. But you might have someone who's small and really technical but needs that chance to grow. So it's about finding that right idea, and that's what we try to do at Palace, to make sure that we give the young women a chance. Sometimes it doesn't work out. We've had to ask, we've allowed, we've released girls to some of our feeder clubs, to still keep them in football, but to give them something that's less competitive, because we're a community club, but at the same time we're trying to create elite players. And it goes to show, because we've had the likes of Charlton, Chelsea come along and take players from us, and that only bodes well on us as a brand, that we're producing players of that stature.
So do you feel, because a few weeks ago I had one of my friends on, and we was talking about do you remember the young guy that passed away, committed suicide, I think, Man City player?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about that sort of thing, where I don't know if it's the parents or people are putting pressure on young players? It could be boys, it could be girls, and if they don't get to the level they're meant to get, then they kind of just throw them away. What do you think about that sort of?
It's, do you know what's so funny is that we do our best to protect the young people as we can, but we also we also have a responsibility to expose them to the risks of life, and to the elements of it and the realness. That was such a tragedy, because he was so young, and he was clearly talented to be at a club like Manchester City. And you've got to understand this, yeah? Exactly. He was at Manchester City's youth academy. And I'm going to try to say something to you. I went up to Manchester maybe 15 years ago, and I saw their youth academy, bruv, and I'd never seen anything like it. It was amazing. It was like, it's all on one. If you've seen it in the sky now, because obviously the new owners came in and redid it. But bruv, it was just...
Nathaniel, sorry to cut you. Sorry to cut you. You- your signal's going still. Your signal's going. Yeah, your signal's going. Let's try and get your signal back. Yeah, but it's kind of blurry. Your signal's blurry. Can you hear me? All right. We're gonna come out of it, and we'll get you back. We'll get you back in. See if I can end this bloody thing. Hello? Looks like Nathaniel's for. Oh, hello. I can't hear you though. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, right. Nathaniel, come back in. Just send me a little message, and then we'll get you back in. It seems like you lost a bit of reception there. Right now, if you logged in, it said Love Football Connect Football Podcast. I'm trying to pin it up, but it's not allowing me to do it for some reason. I don't know why. So yeah. But we've got Nathaniel in the building, the head coach of the under-14s Crystal Palace women's team. So Nathaniel, just give me another comment, send me something, and I'll get you back on. And Nathaniel, if you're still there, just send me a comment, anything, and I can get you back in. David, I see you, bro. What's happening? You good? There you are. Shouts out to all the crew that's been logged in so far. Big up yourselves. This will be on YouTube as well. When it's done, I will put it up on YouTube so you can share it to your friends and stuff like that. Okay?
Yo.
You there?
I'm here.
I got you.
God, man. I don't know, man. It's the Sky internet, man. It's different.
You need to get some Virgin up in there, bro.
Oh dear, I don't know what it is. You know, it's with Sky. You just see the cheap prices and the fiber. You're like, yeah, I'm down. But sometimes they're just like this.
Okay.
You asked me a question. It was a really good one as well, man.
Yeah, man. I just want you. There's been certain questions we've had like in the past, and I'm thinking, you know what, you probably be the perfect person to ask that because of you're dealing with young people right now. So like I feel when me and my friend was talking, we felt that, like you said, he plays for Man City. So if he didn't make it there, surely he could have made it somewhere else.
Yeah, bruv, he could have done. But this is the thing. You know what it is? I think we as a football community have a responsibility to make sure, that we monitor and follow the player for a 2 or 3 year period, and just have a liaison officer who's just making sure, you know, even if that means getting them trials or putting them back into feeder clubs, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
With the women's situation, you know, we have a challenge keeping them. Because when they get to 16, they start to get all this social stuff in it, and it's like, oh god, I don't want to play football. I want to give up my Friday or Saturday to go and play ball. So then that's when you get the division of who really wants it and who doesn't. So that's
right.
Yeah, but no, we need to. But also, parents have a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
They have a responsibility to make sure that that they monitor their child's mental health well-being. You know. Playing, you know, especially for boys. I mean, it's going to get like this for women, but the money that's involved now is mad.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got cousins that play. So my cousin Malachi Boatin, he plays at Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Hiram Boatin, his brother, he plays at MK Dons. And I've got another cousin, Albert Adoma, who's kicking ball. You know what I mean? The money in it is mad. At their age, they're getting crazy money. And I'm not saying that that's what my aunts and uncles are about, because obviously that's not what they're about. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to paint a picture that they need, you know, they need that support work. They need that support network to make sure that they're able to transition from it. You know what's so funny about English football? I noticed this, and I remember this was years ago. We're the only country, that when we have footballers, we don't give them anything else to do other than football.
Right.
But when you notice that, like, I'll never forget, I was reading something about Fernando Torres, and he's got like a degree in like law or something like that. And then you look at Slavan Bilic. All of the European guys, football is not their main focus. They've got other things on the side going on. They got avenues outside of football which helps them concentrate on it. So they've always got options. So playing football, if that's your focus, then that's fine. But you should always it's like having a degree. Yeah. When you got a degree, for example, I'm not saying it's for everybody. When you got a degree, it means that even if you're made unemployed, you've got that fallback where you know that you've got a minimum of this standard of education, and it means you can go from that point upwards. Exactly. And I think that's what we need to be making sure, that our young children are educated so they understand that there's life beyond that. There's life beyond football. There's life beyond, because once the football career is over, what they're going to do? Exactly. And that's one of the questions that I've got. You know, are you going to go back into football in terms of a different avenue? Are you going to get into something totally different? You need to have those options. And I think it's important for us to make sure that when we're developing educational frameworks for these young children, that we're actually asking them, right, outside of football, what are you interested in? What would you like to do? Because you're only one injury away. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're only one decision away from not playing football anymore, and it's such a hard sport. It's such a, you know, what's the percentages? Is it like one less than 1%?
Something like that.
It's a madness, bro. You know what I mean? So it's tough. But that's what I would suggest. I was just more of a holistic overview that doesn't just focus on football, but focuses on the person themselves, what interests them outside of football, so that they have something else to aim on. Because you notice that children that don't play football don't have the same challenges, because they don't have the same pressures on their shoulders. Yeah. But I feel sorry for that, for the young man, and for all the kids who get released, and you know what I mean, just stay positive and keep going.
Yeah, it was really sad, man. So I thought, let me that just cut that thing. I didn't have that question for you. I thought you'd
that's cool. That's cool.
You know. So one last thing.
Yeah.
1 second. I'm gonna try and get the fixtures up for next week. Just getting them up. Yeah. What have I got for you? Now, you know what? We're done with what you do. We're done with you.
We're done, yeah?
What we're going to do is, we're going to get on to Premier League now.
Premier League, cool. We're good.
Yeah, we're going to get into the Premier League now. So you're a Liverpool supporter, obviously.
Yeah.
Come on. The last 3 seasons, like what's been your take on the last 3 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons since Klopp's coming?
I couldn't be a happier man.
Mm.
Do you know what it is with Klopp? What I love about the guy is he's not just made wholesale changes, he's made small, subtle changes at different points in time, okay, yeah? Even this season, like little things that he does. And sometimes people don't see the detail in it. But he gets people to believe in his ideology. He gets people to believe. And that's something that I've learned of the guy. I get these young women to believe in me. And what he's done is he's made people believe in him. I remember because the first season, people weren't happy with it. I think the second season as well, people weren't happy with it. And I was saying to myself, but there's little pieces coming in. He's getting continued to play. You know, the first season he came in was such a shame because we just lost Sterling in the summer to Man City.
Yeah.
And had Brendan gone in the summer, we probably would have retained Raheem, and it might have been a different sort of picture. You know, we went through challenging time, but what Klopp has shown is that it's not always about throwing money at it. It's about creating a desire and passion, and really looking at the brand of what Liverpool was, and just using that to propel those guys. Bro, we were, you know what I mean? I thought, you know, the person I thought bad for the most was Stevie G, because Stevie G, gave us some of the best years of football that we would say, moments in football. Some of the goals he scored, you know, I'll never forget that game at the Swamp, or Old Trafford, as some people like to call it, when him and Torres tore up the game. And
the one we scored the 2 penalties.
Yeah. But what Klopp has done is he's taken a city that's been through a lot, you know. Bruv, Hillsborough.
Yeah.
You know, and what people don't know about a lot about the city of Liverpool, which is quite interesting, is obviously that was like the main, it was the insurance centre of the UK back about 60, 70 years ago, and it was obviously the main port for the slave trade. And when the slave trade obviously was abolished, and then all of the financial centers moved down to London, which is, you know, the Canary Wharf area now. Like, the city was decimated, man. They had no jobs and nothing like that. That city, that whenever I go to Liverpool, I love it because you're like, the people are friendly, but you just feel that you're amongst human. And that sounds strange to me, like just you're humble people, people, and that club represents that. You know, and the heartache that they've been through, and the fact that we ain't had golden badges on our arms for the last 30 years. It was needed. I mean, and Arsenal supporters, I don't mind Arsenal, but I can't. But their supporters.
Yeah, well, before, you're the first person. I've had 5. I think, is it 4 or 5 Arsenal man on before you. You're the first Liverpool supporter to have on here now.
Cool.
You're the first one. So I've had to endear the Arsenal all the last 3 or 4 weeks. But it's been interesting, though, because they're split. They're a very split fan base.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? The Henry era spoiled them. And I'll always turn around and say to people, people always look at Henry, but I'm turning around and say to you, man, you have to think about is it Vieira, Gilberto, Mondi, Petit, them grinders. Every championship winning team has them. You can't think of one. Man United, Roy Keane, that was their go-to guy. That was their go-to guy. And when he went, who did they replace him with? I'm trying to think. But they replaced him. You know what I mean? You have to. There are certain dynamics that each team has. Look at Leicester when they won the league. They should never have won it, but they had N'Golo Kante. That guy broke up play and transitioned it. And when you've got people who can run as fast as Vardy and Mahrez, you got problems. Problems. Yeah. So it is what it is. But you know what it is. I like what I'm seeing for Arsenal now, and I like Arteta. You know what I mean? And I am going to give props, even though it pains me a bit, because they've got some youngsters in there that are absolutely unbelievable. And also, I've had youngsters for a while. You know, they missed the boat on what's his name, Gnabry.
Yeah.
But Saka.
Yeah, Saka's a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making, I'm not going to say Nicholas Pep, they pay 70 million for him, and they had these youngsters on the bench, and they're making him look ordinary.
What do you think of him? What do you think is going wrong? What do you think is going wrong?
You know what's so funny? You know Liverpool, yeah? I sometimes go in the forum, and I'm always looking and thinking, right, let me look at who the fans are wanting to buy. I remember we went through Mkhitaryan, we went through Pep, Konoplyanka, all of these players. And if you look at their careers, they all bombed. All right, Mkhitaryan was all right in Borussia Dortmund, but when he came to Arsenal, he didn't do anything special.
He was dead. He was dead.
And the thing is, it's like, even when we went through that saga, that, what's his name? Who's that guy from Lyon that we tried to sign and his leg was mashed up?
Oh, Fekir.
Yeah, Fekir. I was thinking, bruv, but remember what we did that season?
Yeah.
We went to the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that with Pep, sometimes there are players who can hit the ground running. There's some players who can't, and he's just not hit the ground running. And I just don't know what it is. It might be the pace of the game. It might be the style of play. But listen, the Premiership is an unforgiving place. You know what I mean? You know,
most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Those cold nights up in Burnley.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When Stoke used to play in the Prem, and you got Shawcross and them, man, and they're coming through you.
Yeah.
Phil Jagielka and all those guys, they're not pretty footballers. They're not going to give you time and space. Those men are going to clatter you. It's going to be a problem. Yeah. So you've got to, it's tough for people who don't understand the game, because when they, you know, look at Fabinho, look at Keita. Keita was running things up RB Leipzig. But when he came here, he was different game. He understood that people are not going to give him time. You know what I mean? You know, so it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think with the last 5 years, I've been happy. I saw the progress from year one. I saw the progress. I wouldn't say I would thought we would have won it in 5 years, but I thought we would be close.
Yeah.
Because I could see each year that we was making progress. Each year we was making progress. So the first year, I think we reached a couple finals, the Europa League and the League Cup. I think that was the first year.
Yeah.
Remember. Second year, we reached the Champions League. We got 4th place, I think. Third year.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I think our fans helped because they were patient with it.
Yeah. Well, they knew. I think because he, like you said, he brought that aura to the club. When he came to the club, he said, "Listen, you got to be patient. It's not going to happen in 6 months or a year."
But that's what Arteta's doing now. Managers before weren't doing that at Arsenal, and you know what I mean. Because even like, I'm not going to talk about all those other clubs. I'm going to stop with them. But I watched that the documentary on Tottenham, the Jose Mourinho one.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I had a newfound appreciation for the guy because what he's trying to do there. Bruv, I'm just looking at him as a manager and what he was trying to do, and I remember, I'll never forget, there was one episode when he turned around and said to them, "They're too nice," and it was true. Under Poch, they were too nice. They were nice guys, bruv. You know what I mean? They all got along. They weren't really up in each other's faces. When you hear Hendo don't play that on a pitch. Van Dijk don't play that on a pitch. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you need those sorts of characters. You know what I mean? Sheringham and Cole did not like each other, but they banged ball in order to meet the common goal, and that's what you need. And you know what I mean. And sometimes, you know, like we're going through a transition ourselves, because I read in the paper about Mbappe. These,
what is going to happen? Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, because there's no smoke without fire, and it's just been smoldering. And the thing is like you look at Spanish football, and it's on the decline. All their top assets have left. I'll turn around and say, since Beckham left, I'm turning around and saying to you, it's been on the decline. And it's been slowly getting worse and worse and worse. You know what I mean? Messi's coming to the end of, not even to the end of his shelf life, but I'll say to the end of his time at Barcelona. Real Madrid are a shadow of themselves. All of their top players are leaving. And don't get me wrong, the nostalgia of, you know, Hazard ain't done nothing there for the last couple of seasons. You know what I mean? The nostalgia of the badge and the kit is all well and good. But when people want to come for excitement, they're coming to the Prem. The Prem is the place to be.
Yeah.
Prem space to be. So, you know what I mean? You know, we're going through a transition. You know what I like about Klopp and what we've done? Is we brought in youngsters through to the team and tried to, like Trent and stuff. I wish we had done a bit more. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a fan of Harry Wilson. I think he's bad.
Oh yeah.
But will he get a chance at our club? Is another question entirely.
Well, I think with Harry Wilson, yeah, it's where you play him, and does he fit the system? Probably not. For the way the player he is, because I don't think he can play on the wings. Because the way we play on the wings, he ain't got the pace for it, and I don't think he's got enough to play in the midfield in the free.
But then what about changing the system? Instead of how you're having a one holding, why don't you go for two and then a one behind, like a number 10? Because he reminds me of like a little Coutinho. His touch and his play, he's an intelligent sort of player. Because remember when he was at Derby, I'm not going to lie to you, Mason Mount is a different class though. That guy can play. But Harry was doing things, and he's a great dead ball specialist as well. Nico Williams as well. I saw him playing at the start. When he first came in, he played really, really well. But there was a match a few matches ago when he played, and I think he got a little bit exposed. That might just be his youth and stuff. You know, there was certain players that I was a bit upset about, like Ovi Ajaria. I like him.
Player.
Obviously Jordan Ibe never worked out. Solanke never worked out. It's tough, man. It's tough. But all of them have found homes somewhere else. Rhian Brewster, I didn't understand what was going on there though.
I'm shocked. I was shocked Klopp let him go because I thought Klopp liked him, and I think he did. I don't think it was Klopp that wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah, but you know what? But then you can see why he's engineering for someone like Mbappe, because if you look at our forward line now, he's playing because there's going to be a transition where Salah and Mane and Firmino are not going to stay there that much longer. Because obviously Jota's in there, but Jota is as good as a Salah or Mane attacking from the wide areas and coming in, and he's doing his thing there. And then obviously you got Minamino, who's not really hit the ground running, but I'm just waiting to see because I can see in glimpses what he can do. He can't play with Firmino. They're too similar in terms of their. So we need an out-and-out striker, and I can understand why people were talking about Werner, because he sort of fitted the mold that we wanted. But why not save our cash like we always do, and then buy the right players for the right time? And Mbappe's sort of like Mbappe's link with Nike helps us, and Mbappe hasn't signed a new. You know, it doesn't look like he's going to be going to Real Madrid. So I think we should try it. We should try.
I heard that if his contract's going down, and someone can get it for 91 million. I'm not sure how true that is, though. I see it somewhere in some sort of blog somewhere.
Jürgen, do you know what it is? When I looked at the business we did in the summer, which was next to nothing. Let's be honest. We bought a left back who I've never seen in my life. Yeah. And who else did we buy?
Jota and Thiago.
Oh yeah. Oh, Thiago. Talk about that guy.
Guy's a baller.
Bro, that Chelsea game, he came on, and he was like, the Godfather.
You know what it is, though? You know what it is? I need to see him I want 11 men on the pitch, and I want him to be against a big boy team. Because even though Chelsea, I also want to see it. Do you get me?
Yeah, but you know what it is, bro? I don't even think some of our players are ready. He played one. And let's forget, he played one first touch ball, okay, And this, honestly, I keep going back to it. This is the sort of stuff that I'm trying to teach my young girls. I'm trying to teach my young women to play. I'm trying to get them to get into the. So right. So what we did at the start of the season, like I went in, we set up pre-training session plan, pre-season training plans, and the girls had this questionnaire to fill out, 30 questions, And then when we got the results back, we gave them players to focus on. So depending on their position or where they played or where their preferred position was, we gave them players. We gave them De Bruyne and all this and all that. And we asked them to look at the key characteristics, what makes them good. A lot of it came back to movement, looking over, swiveling overhead. But some players just have it. And Thiago has it. Where he sees stuff that nobody else can see. He played that pass and the camera couldn't even keep up. I remember because the camera was like this. And then suddenly, like, the player developed. And I was like, bro. It's just the sort of stuff that he's doing. I can understand why we were willing to let go of certain people in the midfield, like Gini Wijnaldum. I was like, okay. And I love Gini. I think Gini is probably one of the best players that we have. Ever since that Barcelona game.
Yeah. He definitely earned his corn there, boy. That's giving him the legend status.
That header.
Yeah. Proper business.
Proper. That game gives me goosebumps. Go on. Yeah.
For anyone that's just logged on just now, it's the Love Football Connect Football Podcast. I got my guy Nathaniel, the head coach of under 14s women's Crystal Palace team. So we got someone that knows their stuff right now. They know their stuff. They know their football
Trying
stuff.
to know my stuff anyway. Trying to know my stuff.
Listen, you know your stuff, man. From what I'm hearing, you know your stuff, man. You know your stuff. I'm putting pressure on you.
Cool.
So before we come to the fixtures that are coming up, just what do you think about the injuries for Liverpool?
It's a problem. It's a problem, bruv. You do understand that our back four is finished. We have no back four because obviously Trent's calf issue is not going to go. Robertson picked up an injury. Van Dijk and
Gomez.
Gomez are out. All right, Matip we've got,
and he's made of crisps.
between him, and a fine china shop. Fragility is. The saving grace is we've got Alisson, so he's gonna save he's gonna be working overtime. He's gonna have to be asking Klopp for that time and a half because
I had me and my friend was having a debate. This is I think it was the first week. Was it the first week? No, it was the week that Van Dijk got injured.
Yeah.
And I was saying, me personally, I feel Alisson is more important than Van Dijk. Now the reason why I say that is because Van Dijk can be playing, but when we got Adrian in goal, it's a problem.
Bruv,
it is a problem.
Game.
Oh, mate. The guy's a donor. He's a wally. He's shocking.
The funny thing is with Adrian is this, okay? And my cousin's a West Ham fan. I always said to him, he looks like he's a decent goalkeeper. When we got him as a backup and he did this thing that season, I was like, oh, okay. He saved us points. We can't even deny. He did it the first time. But yes, and I will tell you something about Van Dijk. People might not say it because people always give him plaudits. Oh, he looks cool and calm and collective. Bruv, if you watch Van Dijk's game, he makes mistakes. And sometimes he doesn't do his job properly.
Of course he does.
Because I've seen him, bruv, that game against the Champions League game against Man City, the second leg, the first one where Sterling bodied him and man was complaining on the side.
Yeah.
Bruv, he didn't do enough to get back.
Help
his boys out. And there have been a couple of games where he's been culpable, for dawdling and dwindling on the ball. And that's not a criticism of the guy, because the guy, he plays football better than me. But I'm turning around and saying to people that what you really need to look at is Alisson. Because what Alisson does is what Schmeichel did. Yeah,
exactly.
The man was an impenetrable barrier. Yeah. Some of the saves he made in the Barcelona game last year, that save he made against Messi, he should no right to. What's that other one? People even forget. Who's their left back? No,
Barcelona.
Yeah. Was it Jordi Alba?
Alba. Is he left back or right back? One of them.
One. Remember when he got through and he banged it and then he saved it?
Yes.
Alisson was the difference between us being
definitely
a good team in the Premier League to becoming champions. And
definitely.
That was the best money we spent. I remember when Chelsea fans were going on because remember Kepa cost them more.
That guy, he's another one.
He's on the bench now. Because he can't, look at Mane exposed him, and even their new goalkeeper, they got, was it Mendy? That guy looks like a wall. So they got problems. He's got problems. But Alisson, he's, what I mean? I look at Alisson and who's the one at Man City?
Oh, Edison.
Because to be honest with you, the differences in them is fine tuned, but Edison can be beaten. Yeah, in certain situations that Alisson can't.
I think Alisson's a better shot stopper, but I think Edison's better with his feet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Than Alisson. Yeah. He can pin a pass to anyone on the pitch.
Brazil have got good problems. They've got good problems all around.
Yeah, definitely. To have two keepers like that, that's mad. Yeah. Crazy. All right, cool. That's enough Liverpool talk. I think we've done enough,
Okay.
Talking about our winning team, our champions of the world. We don't know if we're going to do it this season, but we'll see. So we're just talking about a few of the games that are coming up. We'll talk about the top six and see what you think and where it can go wrong. So we got Chelsea-Newcastle. Newcastle at home. But if that matters, because I'm a fan situation.
You know what is about Newcastle, yeah? They remind me of that 94 team. With Asprilla. Just cats who you just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They got St. Maxima. And that guy is a problem.
Boy, he's a baller. Proper baller.
Bruv, he's a baller. And they say, oh man, you know what it is? I say Chelsea, and the reason I'm going to turn around and say Chelsea is this, okay, yeah? That team is starting to click, and they have got some, bruv. When I look at their team and I looked at it on paper, I was like, that, bruv, that's on paper is probably one of the best teams in the Premier League if I'm looking at it on paper, because that forward line is so dangerous.
Yeah, it's mad.
Havertz. Mason Mount is one of my favorite players this season, and if he doesn't win Young Player of the Year, I'd be surprised. I think he's immense. I really do. Like, he's quick, his vision. I mean, him and Saka are gonna have that. Him, Saka, and Trent will have that fight. But those boys there, yeah, Chelsea. I'm gonna go with Chelsea because I think they've just got enough strength and depth, and I think that they're starting to click now. You know, I think they're starting to click. To click.
So Chelsea.
But my question to you is this then: what's going on with Rudiger? Because they got some clowns in the defense. I don't understand why Rudiger is not playing at this moment in time.
I just think Frank just doesn't fancy him. I don't think it just seems like he just doesn't fancy him. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. I can't really pinpoint why. I haven't seen it myself.
You know what I mean? But
I don't know. You as a head coach, I mean, would that sometimes happen to you? You see a player and you just wouldn't fancy them. You just wouldn't think they wouldn't be able to do what you want them to do. Or would you coach them?
I'm not even being politically correct. Okay, yeah. I am blessed. I've got a squad at Palace that is balanced. I've got four or five naturally left-sided players, people who are left-footed. I've got players in each position. I've got a strong core. When you have that, like I'm talking about, I could leave players out, and I know that other players will pick up the slack for them. So it's like, I know what it's like to be in Frank's position. I know what it's like to be in Klopp or Guardiola's position, because you know that whoever you put onto the field can change your game. Yeah. So Frank's blessed with that. I just think with that Chelsea team, it's quite young. It needs to mature.
Some experience.
Yeah. It needs to mature a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going Chelsea win with that one.
Yeah.
Big one. We've got Tottenham Man City. Big game.
Tottenham Man City. I'm gonna go Tottenham. I know.
No, you're not the first person to say that. I think City are not the City of the last 2 seasons.
They're not. But what they have is a problem in Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah. You
know what the problem with Man City is? David Silva. They never realized how big that loss was going to be. And they ain't got no one to replace him. I mean, don't get me wrong. Phil Foden can ball, but he's not. He hasn't had enough exposure yet for him to really take on that big. But Tottenham, Huminson, Stephen, was it Baldwin? What's his name?
Oh, Bergwijn.
Even Harry Kane. They got players, bro. And you know, Lo Celso, nah.
He's a baller, you know? Lo Celso's a baller.
And when Lloris is back, you know what it is with Mourinho? I know, you know what, I used to criticize him. I'm not going to lie, because I never really understood him. But that documentary really made me understand. Because you know what it is? As football fans, we look at things, okay, yeah, in isolation. Just like young children see Instagram. We look at the result. We don't think about everything that goes on in every person's life up until that match day.
Yeah.
What people are trying to do. And the thing is, you know what it is? It's like, even with football, if I'm trying to teach my young women to play a system, or we talk about pressing in groups, you know, when we talk about the Gingham pressing, that's not a 2-week training session. That's a 6 to 8 week training session. And they are bored of it. And then we have to switch it up a bit in order for them to understand what it is. And then you see them, and then what you do is that you see them translate it into the matches. And then what you start to do is you start to chip away, you start to remove it slightly from the syllabus, but add things that are linked to it that they can help them. Then you're not looking at the individual. So we focus on individual, unit, team.
Right.
When it comes to Tottenham, that guy's a tactician. That guy is a problem. The only thing with Tottenham is this, is that West Ham game showed me that Tottenham will always concede goals, and that's always going to be a problem. But you know, I'm going to go Tottenham for sure.
Again, Tottenham.
Someone's put Kevin De Bruyne or Son.
Different players for me. Different players for me. But
No, they are different players.
If you're gonna go overall, you gotta go KDB. If you're gonna go overall, for me.
Yeah. But Son is Son's
he's on stuff this season. He's on smoke. He's on big smoke.
He's exciting.
So he's saying Tottenham win over Man City.
Yes.
Man United, West Brom. It should be a foregone conclusion. It should be, but you never know with Man United. You never know with Man United.
Hold on, isn't Martial back?
I think he's back now. Yeah, I think he's back.
That brother's been out for like about 2 months. That's such enough against Tottenham.
And it was only a red card and a 3-game ban. Crazy.
But come on, he did grab up man's neck. So he shouldn't have done that. Tottenham West Brom, bruv. I don't even know. That's one of those cats amongst. You know what it is? Man United, man. Their fall from grace has been spectacular. No, bruv. No. Really think about it. At least with Liverpool, okay, yeah, we were still up there, bruv. We just never won the league. We were still in the fourth. We're always in fourth, third, second. Man United, man, that team is unrecognizable.
But do you think, Man United as a squad, do you think it's a bad squad?
Bruv, it's terrible.
Do you think so? What, because it's unbalanced? Because it's unbalanced?
It's not because it's unbalanced, bruv. What I'm trying to say to you is balance is the worst thing of it. Yeah, they can't defend. And the thing is, you know what people don't realize about goalkeepers is this, okay? Yeah, obviously it's a game of percentages. The less shots you're having towards you, the less goals you're going to concede. Yeah, right. When you have a team, when you have a Colander-like defense like Manchester United, you got problems. Bruv, Luke Shaw can't run. They don't know what their best centre back pairing is. They brought in is it Bailly a few years back, bruv. I don't know what happened to that guy because he was immense when he first come. Bruv, they got problems, bruv. Maguire is not their answer. The thing is, what is in Man United? When you look at Bruno Fernandes, I rate Pogba. I think he's a really good player. He's a luxury player. He is like what Ozil is to Arsenal right now. Yeah, he's a luxury player. He's not. Was it, The Godfather? You got peacetime conciliaries and you got wartime conciliaries. Pogba is a peacetime conciliary because right now they're at war. Ollie looks like he's on the verge of losing his job. I'm gonna say to you, Ollie is 2 or 3 results away from get shown the door. I'm gonna go for West Brom. They're gonna be up for it.
It's in a West Brom win, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go for West Brom. I just think Manchester United have too many frailties. Yeah, and the thing is, what is with Man United? It's like they just don't know how to. They don't know how to stop goals from going in, bruv. So yeah, I'm gonna go West. I'm gonna be brave and go West Brom.
Go West Brom. Okay. So let's go further down. We'll put Everton in there because they're doing okay. So we'll put Fulham Everton.
Nah, that's a foregone conclusion. I'm not even gonna raise that one.
We say Everton.
Team is as much as it pains me to say,
it's a good team.
Bruv,
I like Ahmed is doing. I've never rated that guy in any other league thing. I've never rated him. I just think for me, from the World Cup where he had a very good World Cup. I think it was 2016.
Yeah. No,
2014.
2014.
2014. Yeah, it must have been 2014. It was a long while back.
Yeah.
Where he had a very good World Cup. It scored like 7, 8 goals.
That's when my boy Jackson Martinez I thought he was the guy. But
he was doing stuff as well. And Hamid had a very good World Cup. And then since then, he's played at Madrid, he's played at Bayern, he's played at all these big teams, and for me, just never can't see it until we come to Everton.
There's a syndrome I like to call it. It's called the Berbatov Syndrome. That's how I'm going to call it. At Tottenham, man was a star. When he went to Man United, he was not that guy. He scored a few goals, but he wasn't that guy. Yeah, and I just think that when you go to clubs like Real Madrid and stuff like that, bro, you got to think about when he went there. Who was kicking ball there? Yeah. They had big players.
Definitely
big players. And it's hard for you as a star to go into that sort of. I mean, like, and this is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I wonder. Look at Philip Coutinho is the prime example of this.
Yeah,
man was the crown and Liverpool did everything they could to keep the guy. I know they did. That I know they did. They threw money at him. They did everything. And Phil does not want to. Phil's been begging to come back to the club for the last 2 years, and he has no. And you know what it is? I love Coutinho. I loved him because what that boy, we took him from nothing and we made him a star. We made him a star. Brendan, props. I'll give you that. Him and Daniel Sturridge, I'll give you props for that. Those two signings were bad, but sometimes you got to realize that the grass is not always greener on the other squad with Suarez, Messi, Busquets.
Yeah,
bruv. Yeah, they had players, bruv. Nah, man, you that Berbatov syndrome is real. Sometimes as players, you got to think about where you're going. You know, and it's happened to so many good players. Look at Zaha. Yeah. Zaha went to Manchester United and it didn't work for him. Happened to Salah, it didn't work for him. Sometimes you need to know when it's the right time. To my cousin's on here. He's talking about we took him from Inter. Bruv, he was a youth and he wasn't doing anything at Inter. Don't cry. Inter even put him on loan, didn't they? Yeah,
I think somewhere. Yeah, he went to Spain or something, and then came back.
Some lonely. We made him who we are. We made him. Oh, he's a Man United supporter, so he's going through. Going through it.
Well, he just missed the talk. He just missed the Man United.
No. It's all right. Don't worry. We're not gonna put him through that again. Yeah. So I'm gonna. So it was So that one's a foregone conclusion.
Oh yeah, you said Everton. Yeah, well, Fulham went down anyway. So they're nothing.
They're there to make up the numbers.
Yeah. They ain't got nothing. Leeds United, Arsenal. It's a very big game. It's a big game.
Master versus the Apprentice. Is Cook playing?
I don't know because I don't think they've announced any squads or anything yet. I don't think their press conferences are till tomorrow.
Oh, okay, no problem.
That's a Sunday game.
Because if Cook ain't playing, then it's a straight up Arsenal win.
Okay.
I think Cook is the difference. Yeah. I watched them the other week. I forgot who they played. Them guys were getting bounced about, boy. It was not nice. And you know what it is? Arsenal just look like they're a team. You know what it is? They look like Arteta's got that team organised, and they're playing for him, and they're defending better, and they're playing through the thirds better, and they understand the system. So people are saying Leeds.
I should come by saying Leeds.
You know what it is? The difference is Bielsa, and Bielsa is a tactician, and that guy knows how to create systems in order to defeat to counteract someone's offensive play.
Well, if I was Bielsa, I look at that Arsenal team. I know they can't create. They can't create to save their life.
They got no core. They got no core.
I would sit back. I'll sit back on them and let them have the ball.
Yeah, what they got, bruv. You know what it is? In Aubameyang, Lacazette, in Saka, in Nketiah, you've got danger, and more danger.
Them man ain't been firing though. That's the thing. You look at them this season. I mean, Aubameyang can fire at any time because he's that sort of player. Give him a chance, he'll score. But Lacazette's been poor, man. He's been poor in the last few games. He ain't been finishing his dinner, man.
He ain't been finishing his dinner at all.
I don't know. It's going to be a good game. I think I'm going to call it a
game. People are saying Leeds. I'm going Arsenal.
You're going Arsenal, yeah?
But that's another tough match. But that's a tough match because of both teams are really good.
I think it's your cousin. Regarding Zaha, he was a Fergie man. I was allegedly messing Moyes' daughter. So take it away from Berbatov Syndrome.
The funny thing is, this is the same cousin that I was giving praise to, who came to do the photos with.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna D. I understand what you're saying. Zaha was young, but the boy's a talent, and he changes, bruv. Come now, no. You know when Zaha and Balassi came up against Liverpool, do you remember the headaches that they used to call us?
Yeah.
Whenever I saw those two on the pitch, I used to think to myself, "Oh God, not those two again."
Problem.
Because, listen, I used to go and watch Palace men's, all the time. Bruv, back in the day when Richard Harris and all those guys, Steve Cabba, and then bruv, they produced youngsters. Sean Scannell, Wayne Routledge, and then you go into the new crop that's come through, like Zaha. Victor Moses was untouchable in the Championship. There was no better player. That's why Wigan bought him, and that's why Chelsea tried to buy him. But I'm turning around saying to you, man, that no. Zaha, the guy's a different gravy. I like him a lot. He's a guy. He's a luxury player, and that's when Man United were going into wartime. See, people are saying, "Oh, game over, Leeds to win." All right,
So
then,
yeah,
we're gonna go Leeds. We're gonna go
Arsenal
Leeds.
team done and
But if
dusted.
Arsenal
I
mash
think
you up,
Arsenal took back and hit them on a break. Game over, Leeds to win.
hey, Mel,
Okay.
do you know what my favorite part of the weekend was last season? And the last 5 years is watching Arsenal Fan TV. And I don't want to promote that the channel on yours, but I'm saying to you, man, watching them fan there cry. We could lose, bruv, and I'd still be happy. We could lose and I'd still be happy. It was good. It was good.
Big up the AFTV, though, man.
Yeah. Big up Arsenal Fan TV.
So we're gonna go to the last big game. That's Liverpool-Leicester. Liverpool-Leicester. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough.
I'm fearful.
It could be a pasting, you know. It could be a pasting.
We could get work. We could get work like Italian dough in a pizzeria. You know what I'm trying to say? Boss man is just because you know what it is. Everyone focuses on what's his name, Vardy, and who's the number 10?
Madison.
But I'm turning around and telling you about my guy Yuri Tillemans.
Bad boy.
Guy is ill.
Guy's on smoke.
Bruv. Yuri, I look like I'm 10 Tillemans.
I've rated that guy. I've rated that guy for a long time.
Brendan Rodgers is a G, bruv. Because he brought him in on loan. And people were like, and I was saying to you, he brought Tillemans in. Yeah, I wish we brought him in, bruv. Tillemans is a player. I don't think he's gonna be at Leicester for the next couple of years. He'll go to a big club. I think someone will come in and snap him up because he is bad.
He is. I'm
just trying to think, bruv. It depends on what Mane and Salah turn up. If Mane and Salah turn up, then it's a problem.
No Salah. Salah's got COVID.
Oh yeah, sugar. Man's got COVID.
So, and to me, it would depend on if Fabinho's fit, then he can slide in the defense with Matip.
But can I say something to you, okay? Yeah. I'm not as big a fan of Salah as people as other Liverpool supporters. I'm going to put it out there.
Mane's the guy. Mane's my guy.
I'm not going to lie to you. Salah is one of the most selfish, greediest individuals I've seen in my life, bro. And you know what it is? You know what it is about him? I don't mind if you were Harry Kane kind of greedy. But Harry Kane knows when to play the ball and when not to. But Salah does not, bruv. He doesn't square the ball at all. There are bare matches where he's left us high and dry because he's about himself, and it really annoys me.
He's annoying.
Like you, if he left, I wouldn't have a problem. I'm being serious with you. I wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah. Me too. What's that saying? Fabinho's not fit. See, is that 100%? He's not fit because I know that there was and ahhing, so I'm not sure about.
Bruv, our injury table is so big, bruv.
I think Liverpool do them. Brendan Rodgers.
You can fit them all in King's College accident emergency. They struggle with them. That's our injury list is massive. Bruv, it's literally our whole first team.
It's crazy.
It's the whole of our back four. It's most of our midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure. Is Robertson definitely out? Is Orden?
Bruv, it's looking it, man.
Yeah,
it's looking it.
It's a problem. I don't know how I don't know what he's gonna do. Is he just gonna go out all out attacking? Just go at them, and then whoever scores the most.
But you know what it is with Jurgen? He's gonna do something, bruv. And this is the thing. He's gonna do something, and Brendan knows this. And you know what it is? I always tell him, I say to people, yeah. This is why I give props to the Man Uniteds and the Arsenals and even the Man Cities when they're at their pomp and they were at their best. Those the two former clubs. Their attacking lines cause so many problems that it made teams think about defending instead of attacking. And when you the best defense is offense. People always turn around and say to you, if you're an offensive driver, you hardly get into crashes because you're driving that way. If you're defensive, then you are. You're worrying about other people, not yourself. And that's what you need to be. We need to just not worry about other teams. But Vardy, he's a problem, bruv.
He's a problem. And because we ain't got the pace at the back.
Matt, do you know what it is? I'm happy that Matip is there in the centre at least. How long he's going to last, I don't know. But I'm glad he's there at this moment in time. But hold on, I heard that the EFL have said that they're going to go to 5 substitutes.
Yes, I've seen that. Premier League going to have to do it. They haven't said it yet, but they're going to have to. They're going to have to. It's ridiculous.
No, I know that the minor teams were complaining about it, isn't it? Because obviously some of us have got... But our squad's so depleted. the extra two peak players are going to be.
What does it matter?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And the thing is, the lower leagues, they need to understand that. Remember, these top teams are playing European football, so that's a game every like 2-3 days. You got a game.
Do you know what it is, bro? I can't call this match. Also, Hendo's out.
Is that definite? They're all assessing, aren't they? But we don't know. I mean, if you're Jurgen Klopp, what 11 do you play?
Adrian.
You play Adrian instead of Alisson?
No, sorry, Alisson. Sorry.
I was actually going to end the live.
I wasn't thinking straight.
I was going to end the live on you. I'm not going to lie.
No. I'll play a back three.
Back three of who?
Matip. Who's the tall brother?
Reece Williams.
He's injured, isn't it, as well?
It looks like it. An English.
Nathaniel, what's his face?
Phillips.
Nathaniel, Nat Phillips, and that new left back. I'd play him in the three. Because what you're looking to do is you're trying to keep the center compact. That's where Vardy operates in between the penalty box lines. He doesn't operate outside. Okay, yeah. But if you have that congestion, then you have a 5-man midfield of, I would say, Ginny sitting deep.
Yeah.
And then your wide right would be.
So are you saying three? Are you saying three? What 3-4-3?
I wouldn't say 3-4-3, bro. That's risky, man. I play 3-5-2.
3-5-2. Okay, so you still got the three in the middle, right? Okay, makes sense.
In the middle. Yeah, no, the three in the middle is for sure. But then who you put in the middle, because now you're gonna have to put Ginny as a holding defensive midfielder.
You're gonna put Ginny.
And then play Kaita, and I'm sorry, Jones not yet.
Milner. Milner's you got to play.
Millie.
You must have to put Millie out wide.
No. We can give that to
Nico Williams.
You can give it to Nico Williams. It's not a risk, bruv, because he's good at going forward, so it's not a risk.
Yeah. Okay, a wing back. Yeah, a wing back. He's all right. He can do what he's doing going forward.
He's all right. And then on the left side, who do we put a wing back though? That's the thing. Or maybe a 3-4-3 is right. Yeah.
Well, the way we play the top three, Bobby can drop anyway because he drops in normally anyway, doesn't he? So he can be the extra midfielder.
Play Jota and
Mane
up front, because obviously look at Salah as well.
Look how difficult it is just to make an 11. It's crazy.
Who's gonna be on the bench? Is Klopp gonna come on? At this rate, bro, we're gonna have Pep Linders. We're gonna have Kenny Dalglish. Kenny, are you watching? Hey, Kenny, if you're watching, yeah. A Rushy.
Remember, you got Shaqiri.
Oh no! Right? Yes.
Go on.
Yes. Shaq needs to play, bro. He's been playing all right this season when he's come on.
Yeah. He's been fiery. I'm not gonna lie. He's been fiery.
I didn't realize how badly he was injured last season.
He was a miss, but he's showing up this season. I'm not gonna lie, he's showing up.
Do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you though. As much as it pains, I wouldn't have Lovren back for love nor money. I'd rather play with these makeshift guys than have that guy. But that guy was a liability. That Everton game on the restart was the camel that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Lovren is Lovren can cause problems out of nothing. That Watford game where we lost 3-0.
Yeah.
That was Lovren. That there is 1000% typical Lovren. So,
let me put a question out there. Lovren or Adrian?
Lovren or Adrian? Come on, bruv. I'd play Adrian up front over Lovren, even tying up boots.
Well, I don't know, but me and Adrian don't really get on, bro. I'll be honest with you.
No, bruv. No. Just think here, when Alisson got injured at the start of last season and Adrian came in, are you trying to tell me that Mignolet and Karius could have kept some of those shots out? No.
Mignolet wasn't a bad shot stopper though.
Mignolet was useless.
He I'm not being funny, but Adrian is not an upgrade on a millionaire. No way. For me. I don't think so. I think it's shocking. Every time he's in goal, I'm nervous.
Bruv, are you serious, bruv?
I'm nervous, bro. I'm nervous.
Nah, that's just the Aston Villa game. That's what it is.
No, bro. Not even Aston Villa. Where was it? Where was it?
It's the Aston Villa game.
Bro, even before that, I'm nervous, bro. That guy there, I have no confidence in him at all. Because you just think he's going to do something stupid.
No. Don't be like that.
Millionaire of Adrian, that's your cousin, though. Don't know if I can take his word for it.
No, you might, no, on this one, you might be able to. I like Adrian. I think he's a good shot stopper.
That's it, though.
Do.
That is it. Other than that, he's shocking. He is shocking.
Bro, you know what it is? When you play for the ilk of the liver bird, it gets to you, man. It gets to you.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think I'll take Lovren, you know. Listen, right now.
What is? I wish my brother was here now because obviously I've been ill, but he knows my passion. I can't because I'm still recovering. I need to just relax myself. But Lovren, yeah.
Is it no for you? He's had some bad ones though. Yeah, I think that the Tottenham game. You remember the Tottenham game?
Where you know what is with Lovren? Lovren can mess up the most simplest piece of defending ever.
Yeah.
Balls coming across the box, man messes them up.
He's bad.
Gives away needless penalties. And you know what it is? It's not because he's a bad player, in fact. It's because his emotions are over top. I know the Everton game when the restart, he was thinking about the Prem. He was only thinking about the Prem. And that challenge, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what it is? With football, you need players that are passionate but know how to channel that energy in the right way. You know what I mean? Steven Gerrard used to do it well. There are loads of players that do it well, that channel that energy in the right way. But there are certain players that just don't. And maybe that just comes from the fact that Liverpool hadn't been as successful as we should have been, and it was that much of a big thing. And to be honest with you, us winning the Premier League was such a relief. You know, to take that weight off our shoulders was just like, people. You know what I mean? No one could talk to us. No one could tell us, "When the last time you won the league?" We won both. When was the last time Arsenal won the European Cup? That's why I keep asking them. They still no. Hold on. Let me see if there's any calls coming through. No calls. There's no calls coming through.
Big up David saying shot stopper, that's his job. Yeah, but David, you see goalkeepers, they got to be able to do more than just shot stop now.
Man saying Joe Hart, you know.
Oh, Joe Hart.
Joe Hart can't dive to his left. Everyone knows that.
Southampton and Croatia, Lovren did bits for Liverpool. He was all right, but when he makes a mistake, it's usually a big one. True. I think he just nailed it on the head there. Exactly that.
Maybe exactly that. Ask him, Lovren or Bailly. Lovren or Bailly.
He's gonna say Bailly. I think Bailly's a good player, but I think he's just been shocking at Man U.
But he's been a ghost boy.
Yeah, he's quite injury prone as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
quite injury prone.
That's like putting up a fence of toothpicks in a tornado. That ain't gonna stick. That guy's no good. He's no good. No good.
Okay.
New breed.
So couple more things. How long? We've been on quite a while, you know. Hour and 20. Couple more things before we wrap it up.
Cool.
Everyone that's logged in just right now, it's a Love Football Connect Football podcast. It's going to be up on YouTube as well. So if you want to share it to your peoples, them and all that, it's going to go up on YouTube. Hopefully, if not tonight, then tomorrow it'll be up there. So you can just let your people them know that it's going to be on YouTube. But what's your thoughts on the whole Marcus Rashford thing?
Do you know what? Yeah. You know what is? In a strange sort of way, I'm actually glad it happened. And I understand. You know what it is? You see with this country here, okay, it's not like America. You know when you go to you've been to America?
Yeah.
You know when you don't belong.
Yeah.
You know when you do.
Yeah.
And you know what is with Americans? They let you know. They might not necessarily be, you know what I mean? You know, they might not necessarily remember, and it's a foreign country. And this is the thing that we sometimes forget, is that although they speak English, it's a foreign country. But at least in America, you know where you stand, and it might be the most. Sometimes it's you go into some places that are real problematic, but in terms of prejudice. But you see it here, it's thinly veiled. How can you be criticizing a guy, okay, who is just doing the right thing? Who is doing the right thing? What he was doing, remember, imagine what he's doing in the UK is what a lot of white actors and actresses was doing with children in need back in Africa. So my question is what? And then you're going to criticize the guy for buying houses with the money that he's made from his career, even though you know he started from the bottom. Even though you know he started from the bottom. Why are you not talking about David Beckham when he was doing the same thing? Because he started from the bottom. His dad was a taxi driver or something like that. Now he's a multi-millionaire. Why are you talking about him?
He used to live near me in Chingford back in the days.
But this is my point. And you know what? Raheem Sterling, Maro Itoje. Shout out to Maro Itoje because I actually know his aunt. He came out and said something today, which is really, really. He said that the media, in terms of black people, they never give us the support. Yeah. And I'm not trying to make this a racial thing because because it's funny that you touch upon this because obviously I watch women's football a lot. Let me tell you something about Crystal Palace. When you look at Crystal Palace, in terms of their youth development, boys or girls, you will see that it represents the communities that they come from. There is a balance of black, Asian, white, European ethnicities, all in these squads that come together to make it. But that same diversity does not translate on the higher levels. It does in the men's game now. But even at the women's game, you're looking at it and you're seeing that there's not really a real diversity. That's because maybe there might be a culture thing from and I can speak from black families that football is not really something that young women play in black families. But now it's starting to become a thing because our women are athletic. They're skillful. They're strong. But anything that it's such a shame that it is a shame that we're talking about it now. That a man that went out to just feed hungry kids. Your own government you pay taxes for. And let me just try and say something to you. This is the same government, that whilst we was on lockdown, was changing every single road to a single lane with cycle. I went Balham the other day. It was dual lane both sides. Now a single lane with a bike lane. My question is where did you get all the P to pay for that, Boris and Sadiq? And now the congestion charges 7 days a week, and we're in deficit here and deficit there. It just seems that we always focus on the wrong targets. And so let me give you an example what we did at Palace this year. So I reached out to the black-owned economy, which is a number of black businesses. And all of the sponsors in the youth division are most of them are from the black-owned economy. They're from this actual group. So shout outs to Her Football, who sponsors the under 14s, and also Fit 2020. And I'm going to shout them out there because these are businesses that that looked at what we were trying to do. When I sold the idea, I sold to them that it's not just something that I'm going to get out of it. You get to link up with a brand that's massive. But those sorts of platforms are the sorts of platforms that we need in order to help young black people and also people of different ethnicities have those sorts of hubs and communities to help them grow. And to prosper. What happened to Marcus is a tragedy. It's so bad, and and let's be honest, the paper it came out in is a trash paper, and you only need to see some of the comments to know the sort of reader demographic. That are contributing to the material. But it just goes to show that the fight is not over, and it's not. And I'm not saying everybody is culpable of being racist. Let's be clear. But what I'm turning around and saying to you is this, is when black celebrities or black people try to do things in that sort of way, Marcus didn't mention no ethnicity. He mentioned poor kids.
Kids, yeah.
The fact that children in the UK, do you know how small this country is, and do you know how much? You know what our GDP is, and we can't feed kids. We can't feed kids.
It's bad.
We are one of. You know what's so funny? You go to America, you understand how grateful you should be to be in the UK. Some people, because we've got a residual system. We've got a residual. You fall over now, you break your leg. You can call 999 ambulance. They're not even asking no questions, bruv. Doctor's gonna look you, sew you up, boom, boom, boom. You're back at home. You got your consultant's thing, yeah. You got residual housing system and benefits, yeah. You got free fibre again. They don't have that in America. They don't have that in countries in Europe. But now we're looking at we look at ourselves as a leading nation in the world. We're fighting this, we're fighting that, and we can't even feed our own kids. And then when Marcus Rashford asked him, yeah, for a pittance of money, it's a small amount of money, you know. And don't get me wrong, it's good that people like McDonald's and the National Lottery Fund and Sainsbury's and all those other people have contributed, because some of those people are in the food industry, you know, and their cost per margin is going to be lower. But the government and the newspapers can't come out and slate these young people for what they're doing. You know what I mean? And Raheem Sterling has been speaking about this for time. You know, it's brave of them. I'm really happy that now that these young stars and sportsmen are starting to stand up and speak up on it, because it's been too long. It's been too long. We've allowed it to go on for too long, and it's, you know, enough's enough. And the most important thing about this is that we can't stop this agenda. We need equality for all. Yeah, we're not asking, you know, we're not asking for us to be given an advantage. Yeah, or to be put into places when we might not be qualified. We're asking for a fair playing ground. Let me go for a job. Yeah, if Jonathan is not as good as me, then so be it. Yeah, that's the way it is sometimes. But let's not be looking at people, because people always talk about race. Race is about color. Yeah, culture. I'm Ghanaian. Yeah, but I was raised in the UK. So there are certain parts, and you know what I mean. I'm one of these people that I embrace it. Bruv, I love bangers and mash. I'm gonna turn around and say to you, same way I like jollof rice. Yeah, it's part of my culture. Yeah, and I love. And I do love this country. I love the opportunity it's given me. But sometimes I'm disappointed, yeah, that we get to situations like this where people think it's all right for them to speak up and stand up and say these sorts of things. And you know what? These are the same people that we cheering Marcus Rashford when he bangs in the winning goal for England in the World Cup final. Exactly. And they won't say nothing. Remember what they used to say about John Barnes and all that sort of stuff? Weren't saying it in Mexico '86 or in Italia '90. They weren't saying those things. They weren't saying those things. They were behind him. So you can't be fickle with it. Yeah, you got to embrace it. You look at our England squad now. How many young black players are in there now? You know what I mean? Quite a few, and it goes to show that, you know, that multiculturalism does work. Yeah, and it's not a case that we don't buy into the British way of life. Of course we do. There are laws, and there's a what is it? We try to underpin these morals and ideals in our children to behave, to educate, to prosper, to grow. Yeah. But at the same time, what we can't be having is people, you know, choosing as and when they want to flick the light switch on and off. That can't happen. That can't happen. That's unacceptable. Yeah, man, unacceptable. I
agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree. And the reason why I brought that up as well is because, I'm not sure how long ago, remember you had an incident with Mason and Phil Foden?
Yeah.
I think a few weeks before that, it was in the paper that Foden bought his mum a house or something, or bought someone a house, and they said nothing. It was positive that he bought his mum a house, not negative. Why is it different?
What business is it of theirs? Is my question.
Yeah. Let
me just try and say something to you. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to say to you. This Instagram society that we have at this moment in time, and this is something that this is a problem that we need to. You know, it's deep on so many levels. We could go back to 30, 40 years to really look at when it started to change. But what I'm trying to say to you is this, okay, yeah, is that too many people tend to look at someone's isolated situation in a microscope and don't take the whole picture in. You got Marcus Rashford did not just turn up in Manchester United kit and start kicking ball and earning money. He had to fight through all of the players that were coming through there. Remember, Pogba came through that. Lingard was in that squad long before him, and it was earning bare P. There were loads of people that had to work, and the sacrifices. You know what? If I see it at Palace, okay, yeah, we have to travel to Bournemouth, Yeovil, because we play in the Junior Premier League. You know, Tottenham. We have to travel. Parents have to invest time. That means your time away from your family, away from people you know. You, as Rashford, He can't just go out on the street on a Friday night anymore. He's got Premiership football on a Monday. He's in a hotel. Man lives 9 months of his life in a hotel. The sacrifices that these young men make in order to play this beautiful game, and all everyone looks at is the end result. People look at Lewis Hamilton, for example, and see him just driving and earning millions. Do you know all the stuff that Lewis Hamilton has had to go through? He's the only person in his field. Imagine football had black people. Name me another F1 racing driver that you know that's come from England. Man's father had to go, you know, and obviously he's of mixed origin, but he's worked his way through, and become the top. And then people are even turning around saying to him that he's not the best. How's he not the best, bro? He's broken every record. He's broken every record. You tell me something that Lewis has not done. Lewis started 6th from the weekend, and his car was rubbish. Compared to everybody else, was rubbish. How did man only change his tires once and win the race? Because of his skill. Do you know what I'm trying to say, bro? People have got to put respect. And you know what? Some people are afraid. And let me tell you who I want to give props to in England. Obviously it's an 8th wing. It's Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp always understood that black athletes were important. Do you remember his Portsmouth team?
Yeah.
Benjani, Diop. He had bare man in there, but he understood that we as a people bring something to the table. We might not bring everything. We might not bring the finishing of Robbie Fowler, or the prowess of Shearer, but we bring something to the table. You can't be throwing man like Rashford out like that. You can't be doing those sorts of things. And enough's enough. And it's enough. He's earned a right. He's earned his right to play at Manchester United. He's earned his right to earn the money that he has. Whether you agree with it or not, that's what the playing field is. Why don't you go speak to Neymar and Ronaldo? Them man are on, and Messi. Those men are on, bruv,
millions a month,
bruv. You don't understand their monthly income, of just one of them, could pay for something like 6 junior doctors in the NHS, maybe even 7. Bruv, that's pay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, but you can't look. But no one ever says that to them. And Rashford isn't a flashy guy. He doesn't go out and do things. He's an honest guy. So nah, man, they need to stop and come off his back. But you know what it is? We uprise as a people. We do it together, and we need to continue this fight. We don't let them forget. Sainsbury's advert. We don't let them forget. You know what's the funny thing is? They complain about the Sainsbury's advert. The second advert has a white family in it. That's what they didn't realize.
Yeah.
We leave it.
They just couldn't wait in it. Just couldn't wait to say something negative.
Oh, we're on this Black Lives Matter stuff and
You can't. I think you can't say. But the Foden thing shows the same situation is shown differently depending on skin shade. Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, but it does. It does.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was exactly the same situation. One was spun in a positive way, one was in a negative way. Why?
All I'm saying to you is this: as we said before, we base things just on the facts. Yeah. So, like for like, crime for crime, positive for positive. We don't look at the person's skin color. How much melanin they've got in it. Just look at the person and their deed. The fact that he's bought a house for his mum is something that's outstanding. Because apparently the narrative is that a lot of black children don't come from 2-parent households or don't look after their parents, and there's someone out there that's doing it and giving an example to young black children and young children alike, and you're trying to tarnish his name because he doesn't fit your narrative. We shouldn't even give them more. Let's not even let the negativity corrode this moment, man. Rashford, keep doing your thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave that. We'll leave one more question, and then we'll call it a night. You as a head coach, obviously in the football game, what do you think about the lack of black managers in the top jobs, or even in the Premier League? Oh yeah, well, throughout football, really, because we can name how many black managers there are throughout the football league.
Football's a hard sport, I don't. You know what it is? So I am one of 2 black coaches. In fact, the other black coach coaches with me at Palace. But I'm in an environment where I'm respected on what I do, and my results, or the results that I'm getting from this team, is showing them. that I'm a good coach. It's a, you know what, this is a really fine balance. It depends on the culture of the club. There needs to be more black play. There needs to be more black coaches. They do. There needs to be. We have to have a representation that reflects the teams that we've got here playing in. You know, if you look at our England squad and you've got on a normal day you've got 6 internationals playing. If you're looking at most Premier League squads and you've got more than 3 or 4, then you should really be reflecting that in the coaching areas. You know, it's all good for us to get the lower league jobs and stuff like that, and it's all, but we really do need to be given a chance at high levels. Now, one of the questions that I've always asked myself is this: is you know, some of the players who come out of football, how many of them actually want to go into coaching? How many of them want to take a step back?
Yeah.
Because I think to look at it just with tunnel vision would be slightly ignorant and disingenuous to the argument. I think we need to be open to the question. I think, yes, we do need more black coaches. We need them at higher levels, and they need to be given the opportunity. And I'll be honest with you, the FA, you know, the FA has programs which help with funding black coaches through their badges and getting them into opportunities. It's on an individual, but you know what I'm trying to say. I can only speak from my own experiences. I've not experienced that prejudice yet. I've been trusted with. So what we have development and then academy squads. Our under-40s academy squad is probably one of our most important squads because because what it is, they've only got under-16s and then that's it. It's make or break. They either go into the development team to continue their progression or they leave the club and go elsewhere. So my job is fundamental. When we went into the Junior Premier League this year, you know, I was told that the job was going to be tough. Yeah, and and to be honest with you, and that's because our club is so big that sometimes people don't know, bruv, we're top of the league and unbeaten. Yeah, and that's not that, and that's not just a reflection. That 90% of that is the young women that play for me because they are the players that go out week in, week out and perform. They're talented, but that 10% is me. The 10% is they reflect what I give them and what I show them. I lead them. I lead them. I'm a leader. I give them the tools to go out and perform. And it's about my reputation. So I have to build that up myself, and we need to be given the opportunity, but we also got to go out and take the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think there's, without knowing what's stopping black managers from progressing, I'm not able to turn around and say to you, X, Y, or Z, because we've had black coach. Obviously Chris Hughton was at Tottenham for a number of years before he left. But we had Ruud Gullit. We've had as Jimmy Fred Hasselbank coached as well.
I think he has got one job. I think.
Yeah.
Sol Campbell.
We need to do more. Yeah, we need to do more. They're if you're trying to turn around and say to me that some of these coaches that don't have it, who's the Senegalese guy? Who's the Senegalese manager? He's played for Liverpool. No, not was it? Did he play for Liverpool?
Senegalese.
He has the dreads. Is it Senegal or is it Ivory Coast? They have a black manager. He used to play in the Premier League. For what his name is, I have to think of it. But there are managers out there that are doing it. But even when you go to the continent of Africa, there's loads of like white managers for national teams. And then my question is hold on, like Ghana is not necessarily, and Ghana now has a black coach. But a lot of these African teams didn't have black coaches. A lot of them had like white European coaches, who are getting paid and I'm trying to say, well, haven't we got people in our own infrastructure that can do that? And I think what I mean, we've got to push the agenda, and we continue to push the agenda. I hope that the young footballers of today come through, and I hope that I in some way get to a point where I'm able to help or inspire or open doors for them to do that. It's a work in progress. But that's a really difficult. Aliou Cisse, yes, you're right.
Big up David saying how many of the black coaches are discouraged? Black players are discouraged from going into coaching, maybe because they see the lack of
It's
like
a possibility. But let me just try to say about the men's game, yeah? It's like taking up the prime minister, being a prime minister or being a president of the United States. You look at Obama before he took office and look at him after he took office. Look at Jurgen Klopp when he first took Liverpool. Look at him afterwards, bruv. The pressure that is in the Premiership or in top flight football is unrelenting, bruv. You're seeing managers losing their jobs over 3 games of 3 losses. That's a lot, bruv. Because the money, the revenue, the pressure's on. It's not, you know what I mean? I can talk now from a relative position of safety because mine is not results driven. It's on development, and it's really on the young child to develop themselves. As long as they can see that I'm implementing, and the coach, we get assessed. Some of our head coaches, the first team manager, Dean Davenport, Kirk Stoneham, they come down to training sessions and they will stand outside with the parents and they'll pretend that they're not even there. And they'll watch us and see what we're coaching and see how we're interacting. Because if not, we'll go. But the pressure that is on coaching and coaches at that level, that elite level, like with young players as well, it's enormous. It's enormous. People can lose their jobs like that. Got Poch. Poch is a top coach, coach. Man's not been in the job for time because of the nature of the business. It's a tough environment to be in. And whilst we all love it, the complexities behind it are such that people are not willing to take the punt or a chance on someone who might be able to. So then my question is what can we do as black people to get into those top jobs, to make ourselves available to get out? It's just like, it's always a conundrum with England. Have you not noticed that over the years, some of our best players are the ones who left the Premier League and went and played abroad? Just the same as other countries prospered from their players playing in the Premiership, because they learned a different type of football, they learned a different type of environment, a different way of thinking. And I think that maybe we need to look at going to coaching, the Spains, the Israels, the Croatias, I know it sounds crazy, the Germanys of the world, and trying to build a philosophy and build a profile so that we have a wealth of knowledge and education, and then we're able then to come back and do that. Because look at the top jobs, bruv.
But this is going to be my next question. So you look at the top jobs at the minute. So obviously you've got the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Chelseas. You've got obviously Klopp's well experienced, so we know why Klopp's there. You got Ollie, who got Cardiff relegated and had a stint in Norway. So how does he qualify to get the Man United job?
He doesn't. He simply doesn't. He simply doesn't. And Man United supporters know that. Yeah? He simply doesn't. You know the problem with Man United is this, okay, yeah? Man United are going through a period of transition, yeah? Alex Ferguson was one of the greatest managers ever to live. No one was going to follow that. So the transition of Manchester United was not only just the feeling and vibe of you had to change the philosophy of the club. The identity had to change. And you got to do that piece by piece. Piece by piece. And it takes time. Let me just try and say something to you. Are you trying to say to me, look at Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was asking for money from the club, okay, yeah? And they didn't give it to him. He's getting it from Tottenham and he's getting results. So my question then is it the personnel or is it the people? Sometimes it's the structures above. Ollie shouldn't have got that job. He shouldn't have. Man United should have been patient, waited for the right time, and then taken the steps to do it. Yeah? Not just saying that it's this and it's that. Unfortunately, with Jose, it was a little bit complicated. He was out in the media and and blah, blah, blah. But he wasn't, but to take the stature of Manchester United, there's no small, that's an Ancelotti, that's a Capello sort of, bringing someone like that. Or why not even bring Ruud Gullit or Rijkaard? Someone who's been people who've played, black players who played in Europe at top level. Rijkaard's managed Barcelona, in their heyday. Yeah? Because what Pep took over after him, innit?
Yeah, Pep took over,
Rijkaard laid that foundation. Pep just took it forward. Take on something like that, and build it up from there. And then you'll get more black people in. But I just feel that, we have made those same mistakes as well. We made those same mistakes at Liverpool. You know what I mean? We had a period we went with nostalgia with Souness and Evans, and then we went to Foreign, and we went to Gerard Houllier. I remember that period when we had Gerard Houllier and he had this heart condition. Phil Thompson took over. Do you remember what Phil Thompson did? And changed the situation. Gerard came out, boom. and then we had
Rafa.
Rafa Benitez. You know, it was with Rafa. I feel kind of sorry for him because that man loved the club. He bled. You cut his liver birds come out of his arm. The guy loved it. But he came at a time where Liverpool were the structure. You see, nothing to do with football. The structure behind it. Remember, we went in 2008 to becoming close-up runners-up to Manchester United in the league, to suddenly disappear, almost becoming never, not even becoming a club, not even being there. So it's taken us time to build. I think Man United just need to be patient. Look at Arsenal. Problem with Arsenal is that they didn't get rid of their manager quick enough, because that guy was not progressing the club. And whilst every year that he was allowing it to fester, everyone else was taking over. You know what I'm trying to say? And you know, look at Man City now. All right, they had the money, but even before they had the money, their man they were starting to do things. Remember Robinho and all those guys? People forget about the players that they had there.
So
it's tough.
I think the point I was trying to get at was the fact that you've got these top jobs now, and then you've got people like Frank Lampard getting in there, maybe because they're legends. I'm thinking maybe after Klopp's done, they're probably going to look at Gerrard.
Yeah, but you know what it is? You know what it is with Frank and Gerrard? Yeah. Frank played his, both of them are centre midfielders first and foremost, okay, yeah? And Frank understood the game. He understood the game. He read it well. He exposed it. He was such a great player. And all he's done is because how many seasons, remember, because he left Chelsea, then went Man City, and then he went to the US.
Yeah.
And he's really doing his coaching. And then he went to Derby. Yeah. 2 seasons?
Yeah.
2 seasons at Derby, yeah? And then came up. It's a risk for Chelsea as well.
For you, is that enough experience?
Huh?
For you, is that enough experience for you then to have the Chelsea job?
Boy, I thought it was a brave decision. If I'm just looking at it as from not a point of race, but just a point of appointing someone, that's a brave decision. But you know what it is? He came at the right time, because Chelsea were a club in transition.
Yeah.
The Mourinho era was dead. The Hazard, Drogba, dead. They had a transfer embargo ban. So last year was a free year for them. Yeah. And it just allowed them to think about what they're going to do in order to get. So now when you look at Frank's team, you're like, oh, sugar. If Frank's team don't do well, okay, yeah, I can guarantee you get someone else to come in, they'll make that team play if it's not Frank.
They got the team there, definitely.
Yeah, they got a team now, yeah? Oli hasn't got that. And I don't know what it is with Manchester United. Their buying has been appalling, bruv.
Yeah. And then
the last player that they bought was, I like Donny van de Beek, and I do like Bruno Fernandes. But when you think about it, like before then, like it was only Martial. That's the last time that I remember them bringing anyone of real note on quality. That thought was okay, this guy's dangerous. He's gonna do something. Your business off the field is just important as your business on the field. And if you don't have the structures right, and you know what it is, you look at the women's game, okay, yeah? The difference between the Championship and the WSL is money. It's infrastructure. Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Aston Villa, they're all full-time. Most teams in the division below are not. So they're not going to have the exposure to training time, facility, repetition. You know what I mean? And that's just a natural part of it.
Yeah.
But if your infrastructure, and their infrastructures are growing, but if your infrastructure is not right, look, you know, you're not going to have it right. Look, Arsenal still got issues in the board. Their only saving grace is they've got a good manager who understands what's going on and can fit players into certain places. Yeah. But if you don't have that structure, then you're going to have problems. You're gonna have problems, man, and that's the problem that you have there. So, yeah, man, football, but it's always changing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. All right, brother. You know what? It's been a good chat, bro.
No problem.
Shout out to all the people commenting in the comments. It's been really nice to have Nathaniel on the show, and I'm definitely going to get you back on sometime in the future. Definitely 100%.
No, please do. I just want to say thank you to everybody that came out to watch it. I know that some of my players are now gone to bed because it's a school night, which is good. You know what I was supposed to say? I was supposed to turn around and say to them, because obviously I've not seen them for like 5 weeks now because I've been ill and I had another issue after that. I was supposed to tell them to keep training, but they ain't listening. So, no. We know it's I love them. So thank you, Crystal Palace, everybody at Palace, men's and women's. The women played tonight. I don't even know what the score was. Oh God, I hope we won.
Can we get it up quickly? Let's see.
Let me have a look and just see. Women. Palace women. Let me see. Fixtures. This lot. They were playing in the Conti Cup.
Yeah.
I think.
Big up your cousins. Say great chat. Shame you guys are both Liverpool supporters. Come on, it's all good. We're talking football though. We're keeping our fanship aside and just talking general football. So yeah, man, big up all the crew that's been logged in. Remember, you can catch it on YouTube. It will be on YouTube. Love Football, Connect Football Podcast is the name of it. So spread the word. Let the people know that, yeah, man, we're doing this every week.
I can't even see the results of what they did tonight, but I hope they won.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Baptiste. That's my player. She is serious. Do you know what? Yeah, Palace women got some players, man. Whew. Yeah. Got some players.
I'm gonna start tuning in now anyway. We're gonna start tuning in and see what's happening with them.
Hey, Katie Natkill, Amber Gayla, bruv. This team is bad. This team is serious. Trust me, these Palace women they're going places. So shout out Palace women. But yeah, thank you very much for the platform.
Hopefully the fans them could get in. You might have to shout you out and get a little ticket or something. I'm gonna see what's coming and see what's going on with the team.
Whenever listen, you're good for it. Whenever you're ready, we could do this, yeah?
Come on, bro. Come on. Nathaniel, thank you for coming on, bro.
Thank you.
Respect and blessings. And we will talk again soon, yeah?
All right, then. Thank you very much, bro.
Respect, bro. Take care. Bye. So big up Nathaniel. It's the Love Football Connect Football Podcast. It's been great. Big up all the crew that's been inside all evening. It's been wicked talking about football. This is what we do. So remember, you can go on YouTube, catch the full video on YouTube. The full video, you can watch it on there again, or you can share it to your mates or whatever the case may be. And I will be on again next week with another guest. I think I'm going to be back on next week, Tuesday. So make sure you log in next week, Tuesday as well. My post will be up on the Instagram so you can see it and share it and everything, okay? So big up everyone that's been logged in. Big up Nathaniel again for coming on. Respect, bro. Blessings. And I will see you again next week, okay? Big up. Cool.